Hi, welcome to Contemporary Tarot. I'm Madeline. In this episode, I'm going to talk a little bit about using tarot as a guide for understanding how you can engage politically. There's a great deal of change going on in the United States, where I'm located, and growth and political activism and engagement, and it's a very powerful, chaotic time, and I think a lot of us are figuring out how to navigate it. And tarot is so good at helping, navigating new terrain. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how to use this as a tool for figuring out how you can engage politically and use your activism, but in a sustainable way. Because that's important. So a few things. First off, this video I'm going to be as transparent as possible. I am liberal, and I'm sure that especially later on some of the examples I use will draw from that pool of leaders. In the United States, I would be called a Democrat or a Democratic Socialist. And so just fair warning, that's my viewpoint, my worldview. So let's start. And we're trying to figure out how to engage, where you are in your political engagement and your activism. So I'm going to kind of break it down. I'm going to look at court cards, major arcana, minor arcana, and then some overviews of different people and what cards represent their journey, and some personal notes at the end. So court cards. First off, if you're doing a spread on like your best course of action on how to engage in this movement, especially for social justice and racial equality, court cards, pages. I'm going to start with the pages. Pages are students, and many of us are students, and getting a page will be, I think, a call to learn, to open your mind, to study. There's a lot of resources out there, and learning never ends. And so embrace that. Embrace being a student. Don't be ashamed of it or shy about it. Reach out and learn. Next we move on, if you get knights. And knights are action. I'm going to look at those cards. And it's taking what you've learned as the page and starting to get out in the world, test it out. And one thing I don't think I emphasize enough with knights in perhaps my other videos is there is a sense in all of these cards of bravery and courage. And be courageous. Put yourself out there, engage. You have that within you. The queens. Queens are very connected, in my opinion. I know this is my opinion, it's just me, is very connected to community. So this might be a role that you are being called upon to lead more, to begin to lead. Gather others, as opposed to calling someone out, calling people in, which is a wonderful friend of mine says. And pulling people into and helping them move forward as a collective. And then the kings. Okay, kings, they lead as well, but it's a little more solitary. And so you might be called to put yourself out there and lead, to encourage others to follow. All right, major arcana. A lot of major arcana energy in the world right now. First off, the magician. When I look at the magician, this is someone who is collecting everything in their life and using it to change the world. You have everything at your disposal. It's a card of you can organize, you can implement tremendous change, you have everything, and make that magic out into the world. The world is commit to changing it. Get out, explore, look at all aspects. You might be called to do a number of different things, and look at the world you're in and how to make it better. Okay, running for office. There's a lot of talk in the United States, especially about voting. And you might be called to run for office. And that could be locally, statewide, nationally. I look at the Fool of jumping forward, taking a great leap. Could be the Emperor, or could be the Hierophant, committing to working within a system to change it. Also could be death, reinventing yourself, moving forward. The old rule is dead. Move ahead. Okay, in our arcana thoughts, if you do a reading like best course of action, I'm just tossing some ideas out there. First off, wands reversed. Look at those, especially if you're a person of privilege like I am, is we need to speak up, but we also need to know that we've had the megaphone for a long time. So maybe the role is to pass on, to step back and let others speak. And I've been kind of thinking about that. Four of Pentacles reversed. Donate. Give away what you don't need to survive. Know that you have enough. Donate to causes and organizations that you believe in. Four of Swords. This might be a call to rest and to sustain political involvement is demanding and tiring, and you have to know when to withdraw, when to rest, when to step back so you then can go back out and advocate again for what you believe. Five of Wands is debate and test your ideas out. Debate. Don't be scared of communicating. And Five of Swords. Sometimes we need to know when you can't change someone's mind, when you can't win a battle. Understanding when you need to walk away. Yeah, okay, so I had some fun too now with just some people, leaders on the more liberal end of the spectrum. Again, this is just to get you thinking. One of my personal heroes, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, I view her as obviously justice and great balance and intellectual strength. Emperors or hierophants, I look at someone like President Barack Obama, Nancy Pelosi, Kamala Harris. The devil. There's a wonderful tradition of political satire and comedy in the United States. So people like Samantha Bee and Stephen Colbert, Jon Stewart, the devils, provocateurs. People like Liz Warren to me and Rachel Maddow, a political commentator, I view them as stars, and they shine the light on corruption. They're very effective communicators and extremely articulate and just seem to flow. AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, I view her as the Chariot. This is someone that is just full of movement, driving forward, isn't scared of risk, is about communicating and forward moving and pulling us all forward. The founders of the Black Lives Movement, Black Lives Matter, Alicia Garza, Patrisse Cullors, and Opal Tometi, the founders of Black Lives Matter, I view them as judgment. Their clarion call has woken people up, has actually saved lives. and also view them as high priestesses, sort of knowing, having an inner knowing of what is right and being extremely independent. So yeah, this is just to get you thinking. And kind of just on a personal note, this activism and being engaged in your community, I believe, at least for me, things change as your life changes. When you are involved in politics or, in social change and social justice in your 20s, it's different than in your 50s. A few years ago, I found a lot of a really good home in advocating and working for a local candidate, our congressional rep, Lauren Underwood, in the 14th District here in Illinois. And that has been a very sustainable way for me to be involved, and that early on was more magician, kind of like house parties and postcard writing and a little phone banking, which I hate, but things that were more out in the community. Now my life has changed. I'm doing more elder care. I can't do marches because I have hands-on with elder people. And so now it's more at home, more empress work, more letters to the editor and donating and postcards and writing and things like that. So, activism, it will change. So use the tarot to find out what's the best way for me. Where am I right now? Where can I go? And it's a tool to navigate this really complicated but very important time. I hope this is clear. This is just, I've been thinking, obviously, there's a lot going on. So I hope this helps. Share other thoughts in the comments section of, different ideas you might have. Thank you. Be kind to each other. Take care of yourselves. And thanks for visiting. And I will see you soon.